Hey guys, welcome back to my channel if you're already a subscriber, and welcome if you're new here. My name is Natasha Vilaseka and I speak about everything from LinkedIn to lead generation to entrepreneurship on this channel. So if you haven't already, hit subscribe and turn post notifications on if you want to get new alerts when I upload a new video. Now, today I come with a very important, highly requested video, which is how I generate leads using Sales Navigator and how I actually convert those leads into paying clients using a secret tool which I have never mentioned to you guys before. It's actually something that I use personally and that I use with my paying clients. The main reason that I don't speak about everything I do on my channel is just because if people do it in the wrong way and they start using these methods that I teach in terms of outreach, it becomes oversaturated in a bad way. So everyone starts doing the same thing, sending the same messages, but they're not doing it correctly, and then it just brings down the trust in our prospects. So that's why I keep a lot of stuff close to my chest. But this tool, I'm going to share this with you. It's not super complicated. It's very, very easy and straightforward to use. Now, the first thing I want to mention is when it comes to lead generation, there are three very important stages that we need to consider. And those three stages are awareness, consideration, and conversion. Now, today I want to mainly focus on awareness and consideration. When it comes to awareness, there are two main ways that this tends to happen. The first way is inbound marketing, and the second way is outbound. Now, if you've watched a lot of my content, you'll know that I speak a lot about inbound, but today I do want to focus on outbound more. And before I get into that, let me just explain the difference. So, inbound marketing versus outbound marketing. Outbound marketing is where you go and push a message to a large audience. So you're being the active one, where you're going out and maybe sharing pieces of content, or you're messaging somebody directly and saying, hey, this is me, this is what I do, this is my product or service, are you interested? Not in that way, never do it like that, but that's kind of like the gist of it. And then when it comes to inbound marketing, think about your brand or your company being magnetic and attracting your ideal prospects. So inbound is when people are coming to you and saying, hey, I saw this piece of content, I just engaged with it, I want to know more about what you do, please can we jump on a call? That's more inbound. Now, both are super powerful, but the best way to use these strategies is by combining the two and setting up your content strategy and your brand in a way that attracts clients, so via inbound marketing, but also making sure that you've got that tap of leads that you can switch on and off, where you can say, okay, if I'm having a month where my inbound lead flow is kind of low, let me go and do some outbound and make sure that I can still hit my revenue goals and my targets for the month. So that's the difference between the two. Today we are having a heavy focus on outbound. So before we get into it, let me just mention the two different tools that you are going to need to follow along with this video. Now, the first one is, of course, LinkedIn Sales Navigator, one of my favorite tools that I speak about a lot. Now, if you don't have Sales Navigator, don't worry. It looks a little bit pricey initially at $80 per month, but I have an exclusive free 2-month trial link for Sales Navigator. You can't even find it on the LinkedIn website. I am affiliated with LinkedIn using this link, so I do get a little bit of a kickback, but you are saving $160, so it's completely up to you if you want to use it or not. I will leave it down below in the description, so 2 months free. Test it out, see if it works well for you. If it doesn't, you can always cancel before the subscription automatically renews. So there's no pressure for it, but I would say get it. Try it out with this method that I'm going to teach you today. See what the return is, and I'm pretty sure that if you're getting a lot of you, like a client for a lot of you is going to be worth a lot more than $80. So I don't think it's going to be much of like a thing to think about. It's going to be a no-brainer. So I'll leave the link in the description. The second tool is going to be something that I use called Wiza, which is a Chrome extension. Now, this video is actually in collaboration with Wiza. Before you panic, don't worry, I wouldn't promote anything that I hadn't tried out myself. As you know, if you've been following me for a while, this is my first recommendation in terms of product and collaboration, because I've had a lot of companies approach me. I know I have a pretty small channel, but it's quite niche, and there are a lot of softwares and Chrome extensions and stuff out there for people like you and my audience. So I have said no to everything else in the past. This one, the reason I said yes, I basically spoke to the founder. I was like, let me try it out. let me see if it works, and then if it works, then I can recommend it to my subscribers. And the tool is super straightforward to use. It integrates with everything else that I use, so it kind of slotted into my marketing strategy perfectly, and it's really cheap. So Wiza is essentially a email scraping Chrome extension. So for example, if I build a lead list inside Sales Navigator, I can then run Wiza on this list. It will go and find me all the email addresses, whether they're work emails or personal emails. It will verify them, so it'll make sure that they're actually legitimate functioning emails, which does two things. Firstly, it makes sure that you're not as likely to be marked as spam. And secondly, it's going to reduce your bounce rate because your emails are going to get delivered. I'm actually going to speak about cold/warm emailing in another video. Comment down below if you do want me to speak about that, because that kind of goes on from like a part 2 of this video. But that's what Wiza is. Who is it for? Probably most of you watching this channel is for anybody who needs to collect information to add people to a mailing list, to send out an offer. If you want to do multiple touch points with prospects, which is what I recommend, not just spamming people on LinkedIn, actually using different mediums to get in front of that person and make them aware of your brand or your service. So yeah, it's basically for all of you guys. You can get started for free. You can export the first 20 emails for free, and then after that it charges you a flat rate of 15 cents. That's the pay-as-you-go plan, and then there are like paid monthly plans where you just pay a certain amount and you get a certain amount of credits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into Sales Navigator now and show you something that I would recommend as a strategy if you're first starting out. Yeah, I'll show you probably like the best way that I would say to get started if you're doing like an email integration with this from the emails that you're getting, or maybe like warm calling. So let's jump onto my laptop and we'll get started. So what I'm going to show you how to do is how to export your first connections on LinkedIn, because if you've seen, you used to be able to export a CSV of all your first connections with their email addresses and everything else combined, but because of like data protection, that has changed. So another way of doing it is through using this tool. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to make the list a little bit smaller, just so it takes less time, so I can actually show you exactly how it works, but it's going to be the same principles for however large the list is that you're doing. Let me just open Wiza as well, so I can show you how this works. So you can see like a couple lists that I've done already. I've already synced them with my CRM. So what I'm going to do is basically to find your first connections, it's pretty straightforward, and I'm then going to narrow down my first connections, and we're going to pretend that this is actually something that I do. So first connections, I'm going to make a smaller group out of all my first connections who are relevant to what I want to send them. So for example, if I want to send out my free 7-day LinkedIn crash course to my first connections who are in the marketing and advertising space, all I need to do is go on relationship, first 3 connections, and you'll see I've got over 3,500 results. And then I'm going to go industry, marketing and advertising, make sure that profile language is in English. And then let's say I want to go for companies which are sized 11 to 50. And in their title, they have the words, let's have a think. Let's go CEO, founder, co-founder. And then let's say seniority level, owner. Okay, I'm just trying to make this smaller for the cause of this. Let's say geography, just to make this even smaller as well. Let's go London. All my London friends. Okay. So 123 results. So we basically got a bunch of people that are based in London who are my first degree connections, who are within the marketing and advertising industry and are owners, founders, CEOs of companies which have employee headcounts of between 11 to 50 people. Now, the reason that I'm doing first connections is because this is going to be a lot easier for you to get responses, especially if you're sending out something which is free and of value, which is what I would recommend if you're first like emailing these people. What I would do is basically send these people an email and say, hey, obviously we're connected on LinkedIn. I'm not sure if you're already a member of it, but I've got over 1,000 members inside my free 7-day LinkedIn crash course. In case you haven't seen it, wanted to send you an email and just ask if you'd want me to send you over the link or not. I probably wouldn't put the link directly inside the email, just because that's more likely that your email your email sender is going to think that you're trying to spam people because you're sending links. So it's more likely going to be delivered to more people if I don't put any links inside the email. So I'll probably be like, hey, would you like me to send it over to you? Don't want to be a pest. Obviously, let me know if you don't want me to reach out again. And then always have the unsubscribe button in case they don't want you to reach out to them, just so they can opt out of getting messages from you. Because it's so annoying when people send you emails. There's no unsubscribe and you have to respond to them to get them to stop. Otherwise, you just get chains of promotion and it's just really annoying. So don't be that person. So this is what I would do. And then as you can see here, I basically added this extension on. So all you'd need to do, if you go on incognito, Wiza, let's go on create an account. All you need to do is you add in your name, company name, email, password, you log in. Let's just do this for the sake of it. I'll just show you how it works. So pay as you go, these are the other two plans. And then what we would do, it's going to show you around how this works. All you need to do is install the extension. Let's go off here. Okay, so install extension. You go onto Chrome, you add this to Chrome, and then you'll basically have this come up automatically when you go on Sales Navigator. Then the next thing that you want to do is go onto Setup and then connect to CRM. So I use HubSpot, so you can connect to whichever CRM you have, so Salesforce, Outreach.io, HubSpot. And then also they do have a plan on here where you can use and send emails directly from within Wiza as well. So if you don't have an email platform or a CRM, then you can always do that within here as well. Let me make this a lot smaller. Okay, let's go for people that have been active on LinkedIn. Let's do it with this actually. Okay, so London, M&A, I know this is a little bit weird how I do this. M&A 11 to 50. Let's go first connections there. And then owners, and then active. And then let me show you full enrichment. So find emails and enrich with over 30 data points. So I'll show you what that looks like. Let's say that I just want to do 20 for the sake of this. So what you can do here is acceptable emails, work or personal or generic. I don't really want generic. So work or personal emails, require this data. This is fine. Okay, start now. And then it basically just runs. You can either leave the screen while it works, just don't close down Sales Nav or Wiza, and then it will go and find those emails, and then from that list you can either export them as a CSV file, and you can also export them to your CRM as well. Okay, so as you can see, it has just finished. So what I can do now is I can either download this as a CSV file or I can sync it to my CRM. So I'm going to show you both. Also, just to mention the stats here, so it's shown risky and then no email. So 2 people have come as having like a risky email to send stuff to. 1 email was not found for somebody, but there's 17 emails that are valid. Wiza will only charge you for the valid emails. So if, for example, you do a scrape of 100 people and 10 of those emails are risky or not valid or not found, you're not going to get charged for them, so you only get charged for valid emails. So what I can do is I can download this as a CSV. So let's take a look at this. Okay, cool. So you can see that we have the email type in this column, the email of everyone, the full names, the title, the company, their LinkedIn URL. So if you click on that, it takes you to their profile. The company page for their LinkedIn, so the company over here. And then we also have the domain, so their company website has been scraped, so it goes and gets the website as well. Let's take a look at this. So the image, company size, when the company was founded, if it knows that information, the industry, which should be pretty much M&A, like marketing and advertising, sorry. Company location, I mean, you get the gist of all of this. Like, there's so much. Any Twitter handles, obviously their LinkedIn again, gender, and then skills. So all the skills that they have listed down. Any interests, so groups and stuff that they're a part of over here. And then let's go over here. So phone numbers, Wiza will scrape phone numbers at a rate of, I think, around 20 to 30%. It is getting better. But for any phone numbers that I scrape, I will actually warm call those people. I can do a different video on warm calling as well. If you do want that video, I can show you maybe like how I actually call them, what I say, like do like a live warm calling session. That could be quite a good video. So let me know down below again if you want that video. Twitter, Facebook, we've got all this. If they have an angel list. Location, yeah, okay, so everything, we basically have a lot of information in the CSV. So let's have a look and click sync. So let me just connect this by logging in again. This. So I'm just gonna sync this to HubSpot. So it's just synced to my CRM. And then all I need to do is go on contacts. And then I literally have everything automatically put into this. So I can do this by create date. So today, for example, this guy, I can click on him and then I can add in any notes, see where he is in the sales cycle, do all of the stuff from my CRM. So basically Wiza is kind of like, I use it as a third party, like a middleman between LinkedIn and CRM, because a lot of people think that they need to spend, this is kind of bad against HubSpot, but it is around $500 to get the account with HubSpot, which will allow you to integrate with Sales Navigator directly. This is a way around that. This is why I actually started using this tool and started recommending it to clients, because I had a lot of people ask me, my clients, like, what's the best way for me to get email addresses and get data from LinkedIn, from Sales Nav, into my CRM without spending loads of money? And using a Chrome extension has been the biggest time and money saver, and it's been the smoothest process, and it gives you a lot more information than I would find if I was going to do it even manually or directly just from Sales Nav. So that's kind of how I use Wiza. There are a bunch of different ways that I do this. Thinking of so many good video ideas right now, but I could do another video on all the different kinds of Sales Navigator searches I do for emailing. So cold emailing, if it's new prospects that don't know, but what I would recommend doing is having 2 touch points on LinkedIn directly, and then the third touch point either be a warm call or an email. And at that third point, it's no longer really cold outreach, it's warm. So the response rate is most likely going to be a lot higher than if it's just cold spamming people, especially if you're sending something which is highly valuable. So that is how I use Wiza. This is how I use Sales Navigator properly, in terms of finding people, extracting that information, making them aware of me, and then getting that conversation going, getting it rolling, and then using that to basically convert. So a lot of you may have heard that, like, the more touch points you have, then the more likely someone is to close, and there's like average amount of touch points that you need to have depending on your industry and your service, at what you're selling, price point, all that stuff. What I like to do is use LinkedIn, Sales Nav, couple touch points on there, bring them into my ecosystem so they see my content, they see my social proof, and then use Wiza, extract that information, track them inside a CRM like HubSpot or whatever else you have connected, and then update that contact with individual information of where they are, whether they've responded, and basically use that just to track their progress throughout my funnel from stranger to paying client. Now, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I'm gonna leave the link to sign up to Wiza down below in the description. So make sure you get Sales Nav, free trial, Wiza, first 20 emails for free. You can get a free version of HubSpot as well. So this is all very like low cost for you guys. So if you are on a budget, this is an amazing way to go forwards. Even a lot of my high paying clients, which have the budget to do more, use this as well. So it still works very well for anybody. Let me know if you enjoyed this video down in the comments below. Let me know if you have any video requests or recommendations, questions that you have for me. I always like to answer and hear back from you guys. So thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you have hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys soon.